It's the calendar. Welcome back to Every Disney Movie Ever. My name is Jess and I'm watching Every Disney Movie Ever. Today I'm going to be talking about Dolphin Reef. Dolphin Reef is a 2020 Disney Plus original release. It is about a dolphin that we follow named Echo and his pod, as well as a bunch of other coral reef friends that we touch in with. It is directed by Keith Scholey and Alastair Fothergill. Cinematographers include Paul Atkins, Mark Gerasimenko, and Roger Horrocks. Editing by Martin Elsbury. Music by Stephen Price. And it's written by Keith Scholey and David Fowler. And it's narrated by Natalie Portman. Owen Wilson was supposed to be the original narrator for this, but it ended up going to Natalie Portman. It took 3 years to film and make. They have thousands of hours of footage because dolphins are always moving. It was really hard to keep up with the dolphins and get lots of footage of them. They did end up, piecing together something that the editor, was able to piece together some kind of story that the directors and scientists said was true to the life of a dolphin. It does have 100% Rotten Tomatoes, but only 19 critics reviewed it, and there is no consensus. It was released in 2018 in a lot of other areas, but not officially released until 2020 on Disney+. This is probably the most stunning thing they've ever done. This is gorgeous. I don't think there has been better. Oceans was pretty, nowhere near this. This is stunning. Genuinely, I don't know how they got some of these shots, and then it feels like it might be fake or staged or whatever, but then at the end in the credits they show you the filmmakers in the water filming these things, and it's just bananas. The stuff at night with just moonlight coming into that turtle graveyard, the shark, nurse shark feeding at night, that was insane. So beautiful. And then just the colors of the coral reef, and it was absolutely breathtaking. Some of the whale footage that was captured, I've watched a lot of whale things. I love any episode of Blue Planet, Planet Earth, that's about the ocean, especially whales and dolphins. I'm obsessed. I love it. And some of this whale footage, I almost cried. It was so breathtakingly beautiful. Unbelievable. The editing of the shark feeding at night was so great. It added this ooh, 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 ooh to it that just was so effective. I had a big reaction to that, and I just wanted to shout it out. I loved the music. I thought the music was excellent. It kind of changed vibes in different areas for who we were following. Some of it was so perfect for what was happening. I never felt like the music was telling me what to feel. I always felt like the music kind of enhanced my enjoyment of everything that was going on. I noticed it multiple times in a good way. Genuinely so good. Aubrey, on the other hand, thought some of it felt a little bit like stock music. I could not disagree more with that. I've watched a few movies where it's felt very stock music-y. This felt like the composer just got to have a love letter to these different vibes and everything, and it was just, oh my god, it was just so good. There were a few moments where she spoke for the animals, but they were far and few between. We went a decent chunk of the way into the movie before she did it, and then it was she was always skirting the line. It was never full-on speaking for the animal, or if it was one quick little thing. She was always teetering that line. She was telling us how they felt about certain things, which I don't know how we're supposed to actually know that. But on the flip side, they also gave a lot of great facts. They gave the fact about dolphins sleeping with one half of their brains at a time so they can make sure they're coming up for air. They, then are sleeping with one eye open and, whole sleep with one eye open. My favorite fact of the movie, I had no idea about, was parrotfish. They eat all the dying coral so new coral can grow and, coral reefs can stay healthy. Parrotfish, because coral is rock, parrotfish poop sand, and parrotfish can poop 5 tons of sand a year. A single parrotfish. 5 tons of sand a year. That's insane. I did not know that. I was so excited to learn that fact. I also learned that mantis shrimp have like the strongest force punch in the ocean. If we had a similar force punch, we'd be able to punch through steel. I thought that was really interesting and cool to learn. And, cuttlefish, terrifying. I knew a little bit about cuttlefish, but like seeing the like flashing, mesmerizing thing they do, super crazy. Like, so I was so excited to watch this like beautiful documentary, and she only like skirted the talking for the animals a few times and didn't like dumb it down, which I was thrilled to have. I thought it was a relatively good documentary otherwise. I do think it didn't teach us as much as we could have learned, but for the most part did a really nice job. And I thought it was going to be dolphins, like dolphin-centric the whole time, but we really danced around. We were with Echo probably the most of the time in his pod and everything, but like we learned about the parrotfish, we learned about the mantis shrimp, and that was probably the second like biggest character. And then we were with the whales, Fluke and his mom, or her mom, Fluke and her mom. So that was just all like unexpected, and I was happy to have that. Some of the sound effects they added to this genuinely like made me laugh and enhanced the experience for me. I'll point out the mantis shrimp, when his eyes would like look around, they would add like little robotic sounds, which made me giggle because it really does look like robot eyes independently working from each other. And it wasn't like cartoony, and it wasn't like a really loud sound effect. It was just like super subtle in the sound design, which I really liked. I liked that it wasn't over the top. Really, if you weren't paying attention, you'd miss it. Like, you wouldn't even register that's what's happening. And then for the cuttlefish and them doing their like blinking, mesmerizing, they definitely added like a blinking hypnotic sound that you would expect, that I doubt the cuttlefish is emitting. I bet it's just the visual. So I thought that was great. And then there were a couple other moments throughout that they added like some sound effects that I thought were fun and kind of added to the movie and made like, and just fit so well. You weren't like, oh geez, what are they doing? It was just like, unless you were like, oh wait, that wouldn't make that sound. But it made so much sense for it to sound like that. That was cool. My favorite part, I probably have two. When all the humpbacks came together to protect the baby from the orcas, that was really beautiful. And then probably the night section. The night section was so cool. It looked absolutely breathtaking. I wasn't over it. My least favorite part is probably, even though it was far and few between, her speaking for the animals. I can't do it. I really wish they wouldn't. But I loved this. I think it was a very strong documentary. This is a contender for my favorite. It's up there with African Cats. This was really, really well done. Watch again? I mean, I would if someone really wanted to, but I don't think I'm gonna go. Although I would probably watch it with my mom. I think she'd love the whale section, so maybe I would. Recommend? I think I would, actually, because I really want to recommend it to my mom who loves whales, and that whole, like, I mean, it was so stunning. It was ridiculous. So I think I would like to recommend it to my mom for the whale sections alone. Otherwise, that's it. I loved, again, that they showed the crew in the credits actually getting the shots and everything. I think that's really great. It really helps people understand the lengths the filmmakers are going to get these shots, because some of it feels so unreal. There's no way. And then you see them down there with the rigs, and you're like, geez, okay, I stand corrected. So incredible. That's going to be it. My final rating is going to be 7. I feel like I have to do dolphins. Out of 10. Our total movie count is... Paradox and Cry Count are still the same. If you want to keep up with what movie I'm watching when, follow me on all socials and check out my website. My website's cool. Go look at it, please. Join Patreon. Got a tier starting at just $1. You get every video a week early. Tiers above that, you get daily trivia, monthly postcards, bonus content, etc. Buy merch. Merch is great. Merch is grand. Until next time, comment, like, subscribe, but I'm not in charge of your life. You are, so do you, and don't be pollution about it. Elephant, oh no.